What is up, everyone? Welcome to the semifinals of Portland Monthly Premodern MTG Afternoons August 2024 tournament. We are in round 6, so you've probably seen a couple of these decks, although I think one actually has avoided camera up until this point. So without further ado, let's get into the deck list. First up is Caustic returning to camera after kicking me out of the running for top 4 last round. I totally don't have any hard feelings about it, dude. Anyways, this is an awesome deck. If you're not familiar, this is a infinite Lifegain Combo deck. I know he didn't create the original concept, but he's definitely iterated on it a good amount. There is a lot of redundancy here. If you're not familiar with the combo, it either involves Nomads En-Kor or Shaman En-Kor targeting Daru Spiritualist or Task Force and then sacking them either to Worthy Cause, which gain life equal to sacrifice creature's toughness, or Starlight Sanctum, which technically only works with Daru Spiritualist because it's a cleric. Task Force is not. Through that infinite life, there are ways to win out other than just decking your opponent, although he does have a Gaia's Blessing in the deck just in case. He also runs a Survival of Fittest package and a Living Wish package, both to help find combo pieces, but also to find win cons, including Test of Endurance, which just lets you win the game if you have 50 or more life at the beginning of your upkeep, a Speakable Symbol, which lets you burn all that life to make creatures really, really big, or Sarah Avatar, which is just big by itself if you have, say, 1,000,000 life. Sideboard targets include Elvish Piper, a couple of the combo pieces, Xantid Swarm, which is pretty funny, and Fling, which I think is for flinging the Sarah Avatar if you can't get through on combat. Anyways, really cool. It obviously did very well throughout the tournament, so I'm excited to see it play more. Next up, we have Ryan on one of the big bads of the format, Blue-White Dreadnought. If you're not familiar with this deck, it revolves around getting Phyrex and Dreadnought onto the battlefield, which is a 1-drop 12/12, and then stifling its sacrifice ability with either Stifle or Vision Charm, which are both 1 mana blue instants. Beyond that, it is very much a control deck, running Meddling Mages, Dazes, counter spells, foils, gushes, and some Enlightened Tutors to help you find your, well, 4 of threats. Beyond that, the list is pretty much stock, I believe. I don't think there's been too much iteration here, but still a very cool list to see, and not one we see too often in our meta, so it's always good to keep us honest and play some real decks every now and then. I heard some complaints that not every list we play is top tier, and to be fair, that's kind of the way we like it. A little bit of innovation, a little bit of fun is what Premodern is all about, and I'm glad to see our meta is not changing too much in the competitive direction. Tier lists are cool, but sometimes you just gotta play the dumb shit. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the semifinals. And here we go. Caustic is on the left, Ryan is on the right. I believe they've already rolled off, so we're going to have Ryan walk away from the table. There are dice missing from his side of the table. Hopefully that gets fixed. I think they're just off a frame. Some sort of discussion happening here. All right, looks like we are good to go. Not sure who's on the play here, but looks like it might be Caustic, and it looks like he is going to be shipping it back. I do hope we get dice on the table, but if we don't, I'll do my best to track along. Caustic just giving me a good shuffle here. Oh, it looks like Ryan is in fact actually not going to be keeping either. So while he's shuffling up, I'm sure Caustic will decide if he is indeed going to be keeping. So that does mean that Caustic's on the play. Good to know. I think that is going to be very relevant too. Just being able to be a little bit faster, hopefully getting his combo pieces out a little bit quicker will be great. I think Ryan only has 2 swords in hand, or in his deck, sorry. In the main at least. So creature interaction not extremely high. And well, he does have a foil, so he could potentially stop something, but I can't tell if Caustic does in fact have enough of the combo pieces to keep. He is still deciding. Ryan's already put one back, giving him some free info there. All right, we're putting a task force back. Oh, and actually Ryan is on the play. Okay. Interesting. Kossi, I guess, jumping the gun on the mulligan decision there, just wanting to get some better cards in hand. Alright, gonna fetch here, grab planes. And do we have a turn 1 play from the combo deck? Does not look like it. Oh, okay, we do have a mom. That actually is pretty relevant. Flood Strand and pass. Ryan does have a Dreadnought. Does he have any kind of stifle effect? It doesn't look like it. It looks like you might have a few ways to dig for it. There's a second mom coming down. And Ryan opting to just say go. There's a daze, so he does have some counter magic beyond the foil. But opting to take a slower approach to this first match. Alright, there's a gemstone mine coming down. And are we seeing a third mom? I don't know if that reaction was for all the well, this is actually a really good daze target if Ryan was so inclined. Looks like he will be. Grab an island. And are we just seeing a plain old counterspell here? No, we're seeing a hard cast daze. Alright. You don't see too many of those. But makes sense if he has nothing else to do with his mana. And we get bomb going in. And just a pass from Ryan. Missing his land drops 2 turns in a row is not great. Also not on white currently, but had the opportunity to grab it and didn't actually, so. Alright, there's a Living Wish. Does Ryan have a counterspell in his deck? Nope, he's got a mana leak though, which will be just as good. And the mom damage continues until morale approves. Alright, we're not getting dice right now, but Ryan is at 18, I believe. No, 17 from the fetch. Alright, there's a Spiritualist. That's going to get counterspelled. Okay, so there are counterspells in Ryan's hand. Can take one more point, go to 16. And untap. Is it a land? It's a gush. You just gush. Tap for 2 mana. Play the gush. Draw 3. If he doesn't find a way to play out a Dreadnought here, I will be very surprised. What'd we find? He definitely did find a land, but he is mana short. I am curious as to what he's actually digging for. I mean, obviously some kind of stifle effect would be the best option. But he hasn't played his land yet. Blood Strand is just going to let the 2 mana go to waste, so no draw spells, no nothing. There's an Enlightened Tutor. But he already has a Dreadnought in hand. He doesn't need it. Okay, well, he's actually just going to discard the Enlightened Tutor. Going to cleanup. Kozak's going to swing in for one more with the mom. Go to 15. This is exactly how he beat me, by the way, in game 3. Just beat down with small creatures. It was a little brutal. The one thing we're not seeing here, though, is that all of his Shaman En-Kors and combo pieces can make it so that combat, take another point, go to 14. Combat can be basically meaningless. All right, we are going to opt here. I'll put that at the bottom. Because he can either redirect all the damage the blockers could be taking, or make his attackers have such a high toughness that it doesn't matter. Alright, there's a Portent. There's a Vision Charm. We're going to see Stiflenought more than likely, unless he's worried about removal. Caustic is playing white. But I think you still have a foil in hand, so you're probably fine. Draw for turn. And Ryan going down to 13. Land go. Caustic definitely flooding here too, which is important to note. He has not drawn any combo pieces. At least not any that have been able to stick around. The 2 and the Living Wish that he's tried have all been countered. I think at this point we are now going to see the Dreadnought deck turn a corner. You got him down to 13. Mostly through mom attacks. Actually, sorry, no, he's at 12 because of the fetch. My bad. You got him down to 12. But I think this is where the shrimp strikes back. Are we getting the shrimp? Alright. Dreadnought. In response. Vision Charm. Phases out. Land for turn. Say go. So now Caustic is looking at a 2-turn clock. Unfortunately, those moms do not prevent colorless damage, so he does not have a good way to block. And in fact, we're going to Gaia's Blessing here to draw a card, I guess is the outcome he's looking for. Just needing to find something. And shuffling in the combo pieces you need does make sense. Oh, Ryan noticing that we need dice on camera, and I was right, we are at 12. I can do math while commentating sometimes. Okay, so meanwhile, I think actually Caustic missed a point of damage on his Windswept Heath. He should be at 19 technically. Doesn't matter. The shrimp deck wins in large chunks of damage, and I don't think there's gonna be much difference between 19 and 20. All right, mom getting in, down to 11. Say go. In response, let's opt. Put that on the bottom. I think he might have just drawn another shrimp. Or a land. He also drew a Meddling Mage, which could just name swords. He doesn't know necessarily if it's in Caustic's deck, but there's 12 coming in. Drop to 8. Caustic has 1 turn to deal with this menace, and his opponent has a grip of cards. He has been unable to play anything for most of this game. Take a point. There's a Meddling Mage. Naming swords, I'm assuming. Or Naturalize. Naturalize would make more sense in game 2, but I think this time we are just naming Swords of Plowshares. Hopefully we'll get a scrap of paper stating that and pass. We might just see a concession here from Caustic on this draw. No way to deal 10 damage this turn, no way to prevent. 8 damage. Now, if he had the combo pieces that could redirect damage, that would be a different story. Those shrimps would not be getting in. All right, there's an Academy Rector. 1 blue floating to Gush. And I think we see a foil here, right? One that's been in hand. Yep, foil. And Caustic's seen enough. We are going to game number 2. And here we go with game number 2. I think this is a much closer matchup than game 1 provided, where Ryan just being able to finally get down his threat was able to win the game pretty handily. If Caustic can actually build up 2 pieces of his combo, which is not hard to do, he effectively does neutralize the Dreadnought until Ryan is able to find some interaction. So if he's able to do that, we are going to be seeing a game number 3 here. But all right, so there's 1 combo piece down. Ryan's gonna opt here. Oh, he does have a Vision Charm. Does he have a Dreadnought? Untap, draw. I think he might actually. It's a little hard to tell with the glare. At the very least has a land drop, so not getting stuck on mana this turn at least. Okay, he does actually have it. The turn 2 Phyrexian Dreadnought. Phase it out. Say go. There's combo piece number 2 from Caustic. There's combo piece number 3. If that resolves, it's not going to resolve. More than likely. Technically, he needs 1 more turn to untap with it to win, because he still needs a white mana. And no, that actually is going to resolve. All right, so Caustic might actually get here in game number 2. If there's no swords, and that's not a sword's mana. All right, so just redirect all the damage. Nothing happens. This is what I was saying about how just 2 pieces of this combo shuts off the game for Ryan. Now, he already played a land this turn. He's going to pitch an island and pass back to Caustic. So functionally, he does have infinite life, unless... Is that a foil? Yeah, or is that a stifle? Oh, if Ryan can stifle the Sanctum, that actually would be game over, potentially. Because I think you have to sacrifice the cleric as part of the cost, right? Caustic here deciding if it's worth going for it. Your opponent only has 1 blue open. A lot of cards in hand. Are we just going to go to combat first? Just to get some chip damage in, just in case? That might actually be a stifle at the top of Ryan's hand. He might even have a foil too. He might just have it all. Control player's got it all. Shocking, I know. All right, there's a Spiritualist. That one is going to get foiled. Okay. Pitching a Disenchant. Still in the same spot. And no, we're just going to untap. Now, there's no real point for Ryan to swing in here, because the blocker can just get as tough as it needs to be. And Cosmic's going to have to go for it at some point, I think. But instead is just going to play out the Task Force, which doesn't work with the Starlight Sanctum. If you remember, Starlight Sanctum can only sacrifice clerics, and Task Force is a human rebel soldier. I think it's a human rebel soldier. Again, kind of weird. Don't really like the creature type erratas. That should just be the creature types that are on the cards, but that's just me. This is pre-modern. We can make our own rules on this, I feel like. Alright, Flooded Strand, so a white source now available to Ryan. Just say go. And Caustic opting to not try to combo outright here. I think really just afraid of the Stifle, but the longer you delay, the more likely he's just going to have it, so... No land coming down. Ryan gonna fetch here. Caustic is now gonna take this opportunity to combo out. I think maybe afraid of the swords and is now going to try and gain infinite life through that. So he does have a backup option if that doesn't work. Ryan is going to gush here, hoping to find a Stifle. 2 blue floating. The foil. Oh, the foil. All right, casting the foil on the spell, so the life gain does not happen. He does still have to sack the creature as part of casting that spell. I'm actually blanking on what that one is. I know what Starlight Sanctum is because, you know, I have a cleric's deck that I never play. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. It is Worthy Cause. All right, and then we're just going to let this fetch resolve. Still have 2 blue floating. Now, Caustic could try and go for the combo again for infinite life gain because he has the Spiritualist and the En-Kor and the Starlight Sanctum, which I think only needs a white, so he has the Gemstone Mine to do it. So it is weird that Caustic didn't go for the combo here with the white mana still out of reach. There's an Armageddon. I totally didn't see that in the main. It must have been a sideboard ad. And yeah, there is a Stifle. He had the 1 blue floating to Stifle. Oh, that's gonna be rough. All right, well, this is gonna be over pretty soon, I feel like. Technically, Ryan still could have swung in because you can't redirect the damage anymore. So it'll just be a turn later, but Caustic needing a miracle here. Needing to get out at least one of the combo pieces to help redirect damage. Nope, that's going to be it, and Ryan takes it down. All right, those were some crazy matches. That Armageddon coming out of nowhere. I didn't even remember seeing that in the sideboard, but that is some pretty sweet sideboard tech against a land combo deck. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've liked the video and subscribed and you want to do more, there's a Patreon link in the video description below. That money goes towards gear upgrades, travel expenses, that sort of thing. You don't have to financially support the channel, though. That's just extra. If you've been liking and you're already subscribed and been commenting on the videos, that does a lot to help the channel grow. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you next time.